Borada, and welcome to the InstaSim channel. Today I'm playing Professor Layton and the Pandora's box. In the last episode we found the Elysian box and we opened it, it was empty, and now we're going to be going around town. Now before we do that, we've got Layton's journal to have a look at. An improbable revelation. It came as a great shock to me that Don Paolo had been posing as Flora for some time. Not being able to sniff out an imposter among those close to me is quite an embarrassment. It seems that poor Flora, the real Flora that is, has been left in a barn somewhere in Dropstone. I must solve this case quickly and return to Dropstone to pick her up. In his panic to escape Inspector Chelmy, Don Paolo left the Elysian box behind. I must confess I never imagined that I'd come across the box in this way, but one must never look a gift horse in the mouth. Now all I need to do is solve the box's mystery. From what I understand, Mr. Beluga came to town in search of the Elysian box, believing it would lead him to the vast Herzen fortune. Katia seems to have come to town in search of the box as well. I'm still baffled as to why so many people are after this box. I feel that in order to answer this question, I will simply have to open the box and see for myself. After working up the courage, Luke and I opened the box, but nothing happened. This confirms a suspicion I've had for some time now. I feel this little test has brought me one step closer to understanding everything. However, in order to comprehend the entire matter, I'll need to gather a bit more information. I've also got something in the diary as well. Today is a day to celebrate. At long last, the girl I love has agreed to give me her hand in marriage. I must begin preparing for her arrival at once. I'll gladly change every fixture and fitting in the castle so that she feels at ease. I'm also commissioning a special dress to be made for her. She's going to look stunning in it, I just know it. Ooh. They're getting married. Okay. Good evening, sirs. Please forgive my earlier outburst. That wasn't very professional of me. Not at all. Your testimony was incredibly helpful. Listening to you talk, I got the impression that you were well versed in Herzen family history. Well, I suppose you could say that. When he was still alive, Duke Herzen often favoured our fine hotel with his patronage. I have very warm memories of his kindness towards me even when I was just a lowly bellboy. Back when the Duke was still with us, the whole town buzzed with energy and activity. But once the wit mining stopped and the Duke passed away, Falseheads turned into a gloomy ghost town. Who was the Duke's successor? Did he have any other children? As I recall, Mr. Beluga's brother inherited the Duke's title. That's really all I know about the situation though. I've heard our current Duke is quite young. Add the vampire's rumours, which I'm sure you've heard, and you know everything I do. Cool, so we know everything that he does. Safeness, if it isn't my main dude. You're the only reason I didn't catch that bogus charge. To say thanks, I pulled some strings with the museum curator and got him to open the place up for you. It's not much, but maybe you'll find some righteous info there to help your case. Make sure you check it out. Thanks, Sam. It's got pretty hairy back there for a little bit, didn't it? I still haven't got over discovering that Mr. Beluga is actually part of the Herzen family. Yeah, my uncle never really told me much about it at all. I just know that he had some kind of big bust-up with his dad, the Duke, and decided to leave for good. He did talk a lot about the brother he left behind though. He had a real soft spot for the guy. But now it looks like that gnarly vampire's running around the castle. I hate to say it, but I doubt anyone survived that wicked scary monster moving in. And we've got a diary key. The Professor and Luke decide to revisit the Herzen Museum knowing that this time it will be open. Well, let's go and do that, but first let's read the diary. All around town people are falling ill with a disease that has no name. Some of the common folk have been saying that our town has fallen under a curse. As the only son remaining to watch over Falseheads, I can't even think of leaving. The thought would be more disturbing were it not for her. As long as she's by my side, I have the strength to stay and protect this town. What's her? Falseheads used to be home to many families of noble birth. Then Duke Herzen discovered a vast gold deposit on the outskirts of town, which changed everything. Falseheads developed rapidly, but word of the gold brought in all sorts of unsavory types. It's such an awful shame. This used to be such an enchanting town. Okay. She wants tea. We're not going to make her any though. They want tea and we're not making them any either. And she wants tea, but we're not making her any either, so we're just gonna carry on. They're the same people that we saw before. I'm trying to figure out which way we go to... There we are. And the fountain has a puzzle. That's quite the fountain they have here. It sure is. Actually, it reminds me of a really great puzzle about a fountain. Shall I tell it to you? Go on then. The unusual fountain. The fountain shown below has the unusual ability to indicate the age of those who approach it. For example, if a 5-year-old child were to approach the fountain, it would fire off water from spout A, B, C, D and E, in that order. For age 15, the middle spout would fire, followed by spout A to E. For someone aged 30, the middle spout would fire off 3 times. Given the fountain's method of indicating age, there's one utterly useless spout on the fountain. Find and circle this spot. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 holes on the outskirts. So if a 5-year-old were to come by, it would be A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would make sense. And if a 15-year-old came by, it would be 1 from the middle, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if a 30-year-old came by, it would be 1, 2, 3 in the middle. So that means J is kind of the useless one, because 10 years old goes, every 10 years comes from the middle. And 1, 2, 3, if it was 11, it would be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then another one would come from here if it was 20. So yeah, J has to be the useless one.
This should do the trick. A true gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
And that's 20 picarats, hooray! The spout marked J is basically useless. A to I represent a unit of 1 year each, displaying numbers from 1 to 9, and the middle spout represents a unit of 10 years. Spout J will never be used. The way you tear through puzzles never fails to amaze me. Perfect. Right. And he's got a puzzle. The name's Gregorio, and I love chess more like mice love cheese. If you can solve this little chess puzzle I've set up, I'll tell you what I know about fall scents. If that sounds fair, show me what you've got. This is probably a second one to do. Yeah, the Knight's Tour 2. Lead the knight on a trip around the board. Chess knights move 2 squares forward, 1 square perpendicular on each turn. The initial direction can be up, down, left or right. Move this knight around the entire board, landing on each square only once. No! We were doing so well! Yeah, this one's slightly more difficult than the first one. Nope, we failed that one. Try a hint coin. Multiple solutions, but before you start busting your brain, try moving things around according to your own set of rules. It beats just shuffling the piece around randomly. Start by travelling around the perimeter of the board, and once you feel the time is right, head in towards the centre of the board. By the way, this is the last hint for the puzzle. Hint 3 is just trivia. Okay. Nope, that failed. Yeah, I'm gonna forget that for a minute. Right. The Herzen Museum's open now, perfect. Welcome friends, I'm Grinko, and I'm the curator of the Herzen Museum. We have an extensive collection of artifacts related to the history of this town and the Herzen family. Sammy told me all about you two. I hope you find our resources helpful to your investigation. Please feel free to peruse the collection to your heart's content. The professor and Luke decide to explore the Herzen Museum. Professor, take a look at the case of knickknacks. These appear to be common household items owned by the Herzen family. Some of them look positively ancient. Quite, and the Herzen family clearly has a long and rich family history. I see you've taken quite an interest in that picture. Is this what I think it is? It's a photograph of the entire Herzen family, who were responsible for Folsen's legendary wealth. The distinguished older gentleman on the left is Duke Herzen. His younger son Frederick is in the middle and his elder son Anton is on the right. That Frederick, that's Mr. Beluga, the founder and owner of the Monterey Express, is it not? Oh, you know him? Well, in addition to owning a railway, Frederick is a friend of mine and owner of this museum. It's a sad story really, he cut all ties to his father and left town 50 or so years ago. When he left, he took a small portion of the Herzen wealth and used it to start his railway. Yes, Frederick is quite a study in contradictions. He disliked his father enough to change his name, but he returned to Folsen's to found this museum. Did the feud extend to all the members of the Herzen family? No, Frederick and Anton were always quite close, but their relationship with their father was never the same after that fateful day. What day was that, sir? The day Duke Herzen discovered the vein of gold that brought so much wealth to Folsen's. He was a different man after that, and something changed him. Greed, perhaps? Well, yes, there was that. But there was something more than greed infesting his heart. What do you think that was? No, I think it's best if we end this chat here. It's not my place to speculate about what goes on in the hearts of other people. Of course. Tell me this though, if you can, where is Anton now? That's a good question. I've heard rumours that he might still be living in that old castle. But I can't imagine anyone would live in a place so run down that people call it a vampire den. Gracious, look at how long we've been chatting. I think it's time for me to get back to work. Please look around for as long as you like. It seems money can't solve all your problems, eh, Professor? Oh. This place is certainly full of stuff. Do you suppose this is a picture of the late Duke? I believe so, yes. The old Duke Herzen died a while ago and left behind a massive fortune. If he's gone, who is this vampire the whole town's talking about? Sam mentioned that Mr. Beluga had an older brother here. I'd say he's likely the man at the heart of all this talk. But if he's Mr. Beluga's older brother, he would have to be old and feeble by now. No, but then vampires don't age normally, do they? I couldn't possibly comment. Is there anything else we need to exhibit? Oh. That's one impressive statue. It must be of Duke Herzen. This entire museum appears to be dedicated to celebrating his achievements, so I'd have to agree. But wait a second, I thought Mr. Beluga owned this place. Yes, I believe that's the case. Then he built his museum in honour of his father. Maybe he's not so bad after all. Maybe not. Oh, there must be a puzzle. There's nothing else here. Oh, we've already done that photo. Huh. Am I correct in believing that you wish to understand the secrets of the Elysian box? Yes, that's right. Would you happen to know anything about it? I'm sure you already know that the Elysian box is a Herzen family heirloom. And at Mr. Beluga's request, I've been researching the history of Folsen's and the Herzen family. In doing so, I uncovered a secret in this town's history that reveals the truth behind the Elysium box. Intriguing, what is this secret you speak of? It's easy to ask that question when you don't know what you're getting into, Mr. Layton. But if you're thirst for the truth and are ready to face it, you'd do well to visit the town mine. Many miners used to keep little diaries down there to document their time below ground. If you can find one of those, you'll have a first-hand account of what transpired back then. Thank you for the advice, we'll have a look for ourselves. Come on, Luke, let's head to the mine. And we have a diary key. Hooray! The Professor Luke decided to set out for the mine on the edge of town. And we'll do that in the next episode. We'll just read Layton's journal first. Finally, the Herzen Museum. Thanks to a little help from Sammy, we are finally able to enter the Herzen Museum. I'm almost certain the Elysium box is connected to the Herzen family, but in order to solidify my theory, I'll need to see what else I can find out from viewing the Herzen Museum's collection. Apparently some miners in the town gold mine used to keep diaries. If I can find a first-hand account of the town's past, I may be able to understand the Elysium box more fully. But how can I find such a diary? I suppose Luke and I will have to visit the mine for ourselves. And then we've also got a normal diary. Oh, this wretched life of mine. The girl I love and to whom I was betrothed has abandoned me and fled. Full sense. Did all that awful talk of curses scare her off? Or did she truly leave me to be with someone else she loves? Either way, her betrayal cuts to me to the core. I trusted her, and now I'm lost. Where do I go from here? What's left for me? Well, I can't really answer that question for you. So, in the next episode we're going to go to the mine, and we're going to figure out if there's any information there. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Professor Layton and the Pandora's Box. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to like and leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel. It'll help me a lot and you get more videos like this. Also, don't forget to like my Facebook page, probably on Twitter and on Twitch, and as always I will see you all in the next video. But until then, goodbye.